Welcome back to Doom Colonist, the tabletop gaming show which poses the really difficult questions like, if that's chocolate, why isn't it coming out of the carpet? I'm joined once again by a trio of fantastic players as we continue our spin-off campaign in Those Dark Places. We're playing Session 2 of the Gramtech Incident, and as you can see, I'm joined by AD Nickel.
Hello, today I learned how fish get CAT scans, and I'll never be the same again.
Me neither. Below me, we've got Decayed Andy.
Ah!
We were fortunate there to get a greeting in Andy's mother tongue there. And next to him in our overlay, we have a returning fan favourite on the show. The incredible, the incomparable, the indestructible, the indefatigable, and there's something else beginning with idible. Dudley.
I am, though, obligated to inform you that I am not one of your 5 a day.
And that's why you shouldn't put any of us in your mouth. Now,
well,
we were having a bit of a discussion before we started recording tonight's session, and that's an understatement. Now, something that regular viewers may be aware of is that a few of us here on Doom Colonist, we've got some background in the whole retro gaming and retro technology thing. It's not a thing that I really have anything to do with much anymore because this show is consuming my life. But we were actually having a chat about one of the great underrated game consoles of the 1990s, I want to say.
Mm-hmm. Just
maybe early 2000s.
depending on which one of the two you're talking about.
Gents, what were we talking about?
Well, I think you're going to go for the Neo Geo, but you said the greatest console, so that's obviously the Dreamcast. The white box of joy that brought so much into people's lives. They brought the internet into people's lives, so you can do such amazing things like download a Christmas skin for Sonic Adventure.
I know.
Hang on, H. I think I can distract him.
Oh, Shenmue.
Shenmue.
Never have I lost so many hours to feeding a cat tofu.
I had to watch someone play Shenmue for like 3 hours, and I hated every second of watching it.
That's because you didn't watch me and Ross play it. And we are incompetent.
The thing I love about Shenmue is like way back then, whenever it was that they made that, the guys behind that, they had the balls to say, we're gonna create a complex adventure game where time is like, it's an important factor in the game. You've got to be certain places at certain times. You've got to do certain things by certain times. Let's fill this game with as many random crap tasks as we can possibly think of.
Wow,
You want to go and play Space Harrier in an arcade? You can do it. You want to go race forklift trucks? You can do it.
It does occur there are going to be people who don't know that essentially as Shenmue is the template for the modern Yakuza Like a Dragon games.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, technically.
The reason they do all that stuff is because Shenmue did it first.
Yeah. And Shenmue.
The problem with Shenmue is you had to do them because there was nothing to do until the time hit the certain time. Oh, God.
No, I disagree. You could make Ryu drink multiple cans of Coke, and he pulls the worst expression. He's a man who does not enjoy fizzy drinks, and yet, for reasons unbeknown to him in the world of the game, a compelling force forces him to spend his pocket money, because the man gets pocket money every day, hating the fact that he is drinking 47 cans of Coke.
I have a mouth and I'm a drunk pop.
That is a thing that we spent a week doing. We just
Is it a real thing though that like if you make Ryu in the game drink non-stop cans of fizzy pop, he pulls a face?
Yeah, he does it after every single drink. He goes every time.
So he drinks a drink and pulls a Popeye face?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
Despite the fact it's his 5th of the day.
what is he drinking? Liquefied spinach?
I was going to say knock off Diet Coke, but then the word that was going to come out of me was not suitable for an audience.
It's okay, we're not family friendly. Oh, hi Auntie Jean, by the way.
It's a Japanese game. It could well be Diet Spinach Cola.
Oh, yeah.
True, yeah.
I mean, the Asian supermarket that's in Newcastle, whenever we get out that way, I enjoy making my brother drink whatever funny sounding drink there is, and the highlight so far has been the fizzy cheese and sea salt.
Oh, God.
You
Huh.
To be fair,
savage bastard.
He ate the entire can.
I did buy a pine nut soda from a South African shop this weekend, which tasted more like lilt than anything I would associate it with pine nuts. But
Did
it's
it
quite
taste
pleasant.
more like lilt than lilt does?
Well, these days, yes, because
Oh.
yeah, it's mostly sweetener lilt or whatever the Fanta brand they're calling it these days.
I've got to tell you though, like that thing about Ryu pulling a face if you make him drink fizzy drinks, right? That kind of thing is the sort of thing that fascinates me about gaming, because I've always had a soft spot for what do they call them? Is it idling animations?
Yes.
Where you get like old platform games, like you leave your little guy, your little 16-bit hedgehog or plumber or whatever, even for a little while, he starts doing this on screen. or like whatever. I remember Sonic the Hedgehog used to like get out his wristwatch and go,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tapping his foot.
But I was with friends one day, and they were telling me about Death Stranding, which have you guys played that?
Mega Keswick.
Now,
The walking simulator.
I'm glad you said that, Andy, because like I found a very cheap copy of Death Stranding in a supermarket back in the days before they stopped selling video games, basically. And it was a reduced price, and I thought I wasn't really interested in the game, but for £15, I'll do it. You know, brand new. So, yeah, I got it, and I played it for a while, and I got to tell you, Death Stranding is a single-player experience, because I don't do the thing of connecting online or like paying to play online. It is one of the most boring single-player experiences I have ever had with a game. I really hate it. And I was chatting with my friends about this, and they were saying how great it was, and how, you know, how deep it was, and how it posed all these weighty philosophical questions.
No.
And I was just like, nah, I can't get on with it. It's carrying suitcases.
It's a Hideo Kojima game. It's pretentious. That's all it is.
I'm with you on that. The guy's, he is the emperor wearing the new clothes, as far as I'm
Going
concerned.
to a modern art studio, you'll get as much out of it. It's a box, but it means so much more.
Yeah.
What's in the box? Why is it there?
The thing was, my friends were saying to me, like, yeah, okay, right, we could see that it might not be for you, but you got to admit, it is funny how he punches you if you spend too long looking at his crotch.
Hey.
And in the game.
And I was like, how on earth do you know that?
Yeah, there is only one way to find out, isn't there?
Maybe we shouldn't dwell on such things. Maybe what we should really be talking about and getting down to is playing the second session of our short mini campaign, The Gramtech Incident.
Short.
Just a Shenmue Let's Play.
It better be, because after next week I haven't got any time to edit it.
I rolled D6 to feed the cat tofu.
I think I'm going to need some sort of recap.
A recap, you say? Well, it's funny you should say that, Dudley, because via the miracle of modern technology, I have a recap in a document here, a handy document that I've prepared and accidentally closed down on my computer. So let me just,
Oh no.
And I tried to be professional.
so let me just find that again, and I'll...
People I'm working with here.
Okay, here we go. In our last thrilling episode, the maintenance team dispatched to assess Gramtech prefabricated food production facility PX01223AT arrived at their destination to find that all was not quite normal. After settling down in the unmanned facility's landing bay, they ran into trouble before they could even begin their investigation properly. The team's nominal leader, Guns McGreggor, played by Dudley of Yesterzine, fell afoul of the station's security robot, which seemed to be unusually aggressive. After a lucky shot blew the angry automaton apart, McGregor was wounded by shrapnel and rendered unconscious. The landing bay door controls were also damaged during the altercation, depressurizing the landing bay and forcing the team to hastily scramble inside the facility. Once inside, they found the station was in almost complete darkness, its central AI mainframe having apparently been deactivated, and strangely, its internal temperature was dangerously high. Taking the comatose McGregor to the facility's admin and medical block in hopes of patching him up, the team made an unsettling discovery. One of the station AI's adjunct units had been left there in a mangled mess, with a gaping hole in its torso. Salvador Splashraag went to the power control station to restore atmosphere and artificial gravity to the boiling hot station. This enabled Ted Branson to manhandle McGreggor in entertaining fashion, it must be said, into a medical pod. However, as he was attending to his fallen comrade, something entered the room via an air vent. As Branson turns from the autodock, he sees a strange gelatinous form drop from the vent and pool on the floor in front of him, where it begins to pulsate in an unnerving fashion. As what you can only assume is a very simple life form starts to move towards you, Ted, what do you do?
Can we see the map to see where this creature is?
That would be a good idea, because I think it's quite a nice idea to get an idea of where everybody is at this juncture.
Spatial awareness.
I don't think I have that on my stats.
Well, there we go. There's a layout of the facility again, and that shows where you are. Branson and the comatose McGregor are in the admin block with the what we're going to call the creature that's fallen out of the vent. And as we can see, Salvador is just a little way outside the power control station.
Okay. Branson, Mr. Ted is a little bit concerned. He's going to edge back, I suppose, concerned, and look at guns for moral support while he's mildly unconscious. What else is there in the room near me?
That's a good question. If I take us back onto the main players feed, because I think we've got all the information that we need from the map at this point. Looking around the admin room, remember that the admin block has kind of been repurposed as a synthetic maintenance station. So there are a couple of synthetic maintenance cradles for the maintenance of the AI's adjunct units. So those are like stand-in maintenance stations. There are also tables that have got all manner of tools, spanners, cabling, welding torches, that kind of thing. So there are items in the room.
Is there a pencil?
A pencil? I will say that you cannot see a pencil at a glance looking around the room.
An admin room with no pencil?
Because the facility is unmanned. Everything's performed by synthetic automatons.
Are you saying there's no plastic recycling bin either?
This truly is a horror.
I'm wondering what you've got planned here.
So no recycling bin. Okay, I'll pick up the lightest thing and gently throw it not at, but near to the creature.
Okay.
What's the lightest, least deadly looking thing?
Let's say there's a little coiled clump of cable on one of the tabletops in there that you could just quickly grab and bunch up in your hand and desperately throw at this thing to see how it reacts.
Ted has always wanted to be a discus thrower for the Olympics, for Space Olympia.
Space Windjammers.
We'll say that you do that. You pick up this clump of cable, lob it at the this sort of pulsating.
Not at, just kind of in the general direction.
And what is it that Ted's looking for here?
He's looking to see if it reacts to the item, to see if it goes for the item.
Okay.
Or if it perceives it directly as a threat.
Okay, so as that clump of cable lands close to we're going to call it the creature, it doesn't really acknowledge it so much as it just kind of gradually squirms its way around it. Like it's aware that it's there, but it isn't really paying it much attention. And it is moving very decisively, if slowly, toward you.
I will back up.
Okay.
Or Ted will back up at the same speed as the creature is moving towards me.
All right. What I'm going to say about this encounter as well is that as you're watching this creature, as it moves in front of you, you're having to adjust your comprehension of what it is that you're seeing in every moment that you're watching it as it advances towards you. What initially looked like it was just some kind of, I don't know, gelatinous rubbery mess, it seems to, as it moves forward, it seems to be almost increasing in mass and starting to billow very, very slightly upward.
Okay.
Is it?
Oh no.
I quickly look at Guns again for moral support. I say, "You got this, bro."
I'd help, but I'm too busy being comatose still.
Yeah.
And I back up faster to the door that's behind me, which I should be relatively close to now based on the map.
As you go to move, suddenly that gelatinous creature surges upward, almost like a billowing cloud of pulsating matter, and it dashes towards you and smothers you. Let's roll initiative. Just to explain something, give a little peek behind the curtain, what I've done here is I've actually had everybody roll initiative, even though at the moment it's only Ted Branson who's conscious to face the creature, and Salvador Splashraag is outside the room. The reason I've had you all do that might become clear as this encounter plays out. In the meantime, I got bad news for you guys. The creature actually gets to go first, and what's happened here is Ted, this creature has surged forward towards you, and it's immediately kind of plastered itself over the front of your environment suit. It's kind of sprouting almost tendrils that are wrapping themselves over the faceplate of your environment suit, and they're kind of working their way around you and not really constricting you. In fact, it's almost as if this creature doesn't really have the intent to do harm. It seems like it's trying to work its way around your environment suit to like the pack of apparatus on its back. What I'm going to say is that in this initial attack, the creature doesn't do any damage. It's just kind of exploring you, if that makes any sense. So,
What is that worse?
you come up next in the initiative. So, how do you react to this?
I hit it with my stun baton thingy.
Okay, alright.
I gingerly poke it inside of the goo.
I'm going to say that that's an automatic success because there's no chance that you would fail that kind of...
I'm glad you believe in me so much.
There's no way that you would fail that kind of action, so...
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Give me a... I'm going to need a close combat roll here, but not for the actual success of the attack. For the damage that's done by the stun baton. So give me 1d6 roll.
Alright, do you want me to... Because we talked about the damage as well for the stun baton. You said stun baton plus robot arm, because we attached it together. It says +4 non-lethal damage, 3 ammo, and I rolled a 3. So whatever that means to you.
Okay, that means you cross 1 off of your ammo count for that weapon. So that now has 2 charges left in it before it becomes just a cudgel. And that does... Rules as written, it does 3 points of damage to the creature, but what actually happens at this point is, as soon as you make contact, and the point of that stun baton goes into this sort of squishy, amorphous skin of the creature, it suddenly recoils quite violently. Those tendrils that it had sent creeping around your body, they all withdraw back into the creature immediately, and it drops to the floor and kind of flops almost uselessly. And for a moment, you get to see, kind of almost inlaid in the creature's skin, there are some faintly pulsing bluish purple lights, almost like, maybe like capillaries in skin, if that makes kind of sense. And the thing kind of stops and appears to be motionless. What do you do now?
Now, the question is, do I commit murder? Yes. I quickly get my stun bat. Can I turn the stun baton off so I don't use a charge for this next one?
I'll say, yeah, you can do that.
Okay. And I violently beat the gooey thing, the gooey the new appendage that you've mentioned. I hit it violently. I spank it so hard that it would call me daddy if it could.
Well, it doesn't call you daddy, but But it doesn't appear to do anything else as well as you beat this thing. It doesn't appear to respond at all. It's almost like you're just smacking a ball of dough with a rolling pin. If anything, it just seems to kind of flatten out.
Oh, okay.
It remains, to all intents and purposes, immobile.
Okay, so no progress in the battle, but a possible entry for next year's Great British Bake Off.
I've just got this mental image of like somebody trying to commit grievous bodily harm to pancake mix.
Is this when Salvador will observe me and question things?
Now that you've put it that way, Adam, I can kind of see it that way in my mind's eye. Now that we seem to have brought this initial encounter to a very swift end, out in the corridor, outside the admin block, Salvador, you hear some commotion going on inside this admin room. You can hear these violent impacts, and maybe a few alarmed shrieks from Ted. What do you do?
No means no.
Salvador is currently looking down the alley, the main corridor. The lights are on, gravity's on, things are cooling down a bit.
It's still, at this stage, it's still very uncomfortably warm.
Yeah, it's starting to cool, but it's still not take your suit off time. And from behind a room, which Salvador only knows there's two people in. One of them is unconscious, and he hears the wet slapping sounds of somebody.
I tell you, Guns is having one hell of a dream at this point.
Fuck my life, why did I sign up for this?
I can imagine it's like when you put your hand out and you've got a piece of uncooked bacon and you just... I imagine that's the kind of noise I'm hearing through the door. I'm going to get my gun because I don't know what's going to be on the other side of this. And I'm going to open the door, and depending on what your next word's going to be for what I see, I may close it again very quickly.
Who? My words?
Well, what do I see when I open the door?
Oh, okay.
Explain the scene to me.
I'll let you do this, Andy.
Oh, hey, Salvador. Do you want to get on the beaten?
What in the name of the Grand Birmingham Bouldering is going on?
This goo creature tried to give me an inappropriate hug. I tased it, and now I'm making sure it learns never to do it again.
Can I go over and inspect the gelatinous, filmy creature? And what I need, being a guy with a high education and a high history in veterinary sciences, I can imagine that I would be able to work something out for this creature, that I have some inkling of knowledge about it.
Okay, in that case, give us an education roll, please. And
let's go brain power.
Remember to add a bonus depending on whichever your chosen crew positions.
Navigational officer and medical officer, so...
We'll say medical
probably,
officer. We'll say you could draw on your previous veterinary experience. So 1d6 plus the bonus for that, and your education.
I couldn't get higher. It's an 11.
It's an 11. That's a resounding success.
I like you, Dice. You're my new friend.
Before I tell you what you're able to discern, could you maybe give me an insight into what Salvador is, if anything, looking for specifically in this creature?
Inside his head, in his monologue, he's thinking about all the different species that he might have seen. The wonderful space parakeet, the lesser-known greater blobbed noggin frog. All these creatures, they've one time or another, they have come across my desk, being usually illegal imports from the mob, or maybe even some kind of exotic pet that a high-ranking mob member would have. And I'm hoping that I can find some form of clue into what this is. This creature that is obviously gelatinous and is very slightly space invadery.
Space Invader.
Because it invaded my co-host.
It certainly invaded
Space.
Ted Branson's space, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also not looking at Guns, who is mostly naked, holding a robot's hand. I've decided.
I'm still unconscious.
I saw it, but I'm not paying it any heed.
We should establish as well, after Ted Branson bundled Guns into the auto dock, the Medpod, whatever you want to call it, that had already begun to do its thing of slowly stabilizing his condition. So maybe at this point, Guns, you're slowly coming back round to consciousness.
Poor bastard.
And we will say that you can restore the 3 hit points that you lost as a result of the Enforcer robot's attack last session.
God, how long in total did that take Guns to go from unconscious to conscious again?
Well, what I'm going to say is you've got those 3 hit points back, but at the moment and for the next little while, and I'll let you roleplay this as you see fit, Dudley.
Don't spring out, do a cartwheel, and continue the beating.
Yeah,
That's
with
what you're
2
saying, yeah.
guns are like, surprise, motherfuckers!
No. All right. 5 more minutes.
Ted, can I borrow your stick?
Why?
Because I'm going to poke the creature.
You promised to give it back. Oh, you want to beat it? Oh, sure, yeah, go for it. Be my guest. My arm's getting tired. My beating arm's getting tired.
This image now of Ted Branson having one giant Popeye arm. So I'm going to stick the stick in.
Are you going to turn it on? Because
No,
it is
no.
turned off at the moment.
I'm going to keep it turned off, swirl it round, and then bring a piece of it up close to my face. I'm
Okay.
still wearing my visor, so if anything tries to jump into my eyes, it's not going to succeed. But it's just so I can get a real good look at what I'm going to hopefully get one of the little flashy bits
Okay.
that's hiding inside its skin.
I do remember, I've got it in my rough notes from last session that you had actually taken your helmet off. The way we can spin this is that out of a kind of a professional need for caution, maybe you've put that back on just to get a good look at it. As you're trying to agitate this thing with Ted's improvised stun baton, any attempt to kind of separate part of it just completely fails. You cannot get any part of it to separate cleanly from the rest of the mass. And we'll say as well that as you're lifting this thing up, it almost seems to be, in a strange, unfathomable way, it's almost like it's kind of increasing in mass and size. It's like you're picking up a gigantic doughy pizza base and the thing is just starting to dribble down to the floor and expand, and it still appears lifeless. But what I'm going to say that you discern from your examination of this is that it's very clearly an extremely simple form of life. It's not remotely... Exactly. It's not remotely complex in its inner workings. The only thing you notice that does give you some kind of pause for consideration is that it has these sporadic flashes just underneath its, shall we say, its dermis, of what you would call in any other creature veins, but you know from the way this thing behaves that they can't possibly be that. They're just these streaks of blue, purple, fluorescing energy, and they pulse, they remain visible for just the briefest of moments, and then they die away again.
Tid,
Yes.
is there, on that desk over there, 'cause you're closer to the desk than I am, can you see if there is any form of liquid nitrogen or extreme cold holder?
Can I see that?
There are no tools on the desk that appear to be any kind of like cooling implement. There's nothing like Salvador mentions. There are a couple of very light handheld kind of arc welding tools, which are obviously intended for synthetic maintenance. That's the closest you can see to anything that Salvador's talking about.
We got blow torches, but that's about it.
But
No.
as you turn away from Salvador to look on the tables for anything that might be useful, that creature, as you're holding onto it, suddenly pulses back to life and lunges forward at you, and we're back in initiative.
At me or
at Salvador?
Oh, at Salvador. Okay, sorry.
I'm going to say that we're back in the initiative round that we rolled earlier, but we're going to go from the top again, and this means that the creature gets its first attack. So what it's going to do, it's going to lunge directly at your face, Salvador. So I'm going to roll for an attack there.
No! Get it off, get it off, get it off, get it off! As it's lunging, I would like to use some form of free action to shout, "Get the blowtorch!"
Hit it with the stun bat. It's pretty good.
Goddamn blowtorch!
What we have to do now is, because this counts as hand-to-hand combat, is we need to make an opposed roll. So I've already rolled for the creature. This needs to be Salvador Splashraag's strength plus 1d6.
Oh god. 4.
4. Okay, so what that means is that the creature has landed an attack on you, and it lurches forward with such force that it connects with the faceplate of your visor. And in doing so, you almost feel like it's administering some kind of electrical shock. So you lose 1 point of strength, or health rather. Not strength, your strength stat remains undamaged.
Yeah.
Andy, what do you do?
I grab the blowtorch and give it to Salvador in his free, non-gooey hand.
All right.
I'm not going to blowtorch him because that could go badly.
How does that work out? Because I'm kind of envisaging this, that Salvador is maybe sort of trying to claw away at the creature and still has that stun bat on. Or have you dropped that?
I would say I probably drop that in shock. Just clatter it to the ground as I try to get both hands up, fail, and then I've got another hand out like Jack Nicholson in Batman when he's looking for the mirror. Just blow me.
What?
I feel like that remark bears some explanation.
Blowtorch now.
And I hand him the blowtorch.
I'll say that that's going to be a very confused kind of action, but we'll discuss whether that handoff of the blowtorch is entirely successful when it becomes relevant. Meanwhile, Guns McGreggor is next up.
So Guns has just about woken up as this began, and he's sort of folding himself out of the slightly too small medical unit in a sort of drunken, just woken up state, and he puts a foot on the floor and face plants immediately.
Oh.
I thought I'd leave that to the dice, and I now hate the dice. So yeah, that's his combat round, is essentially putting a foot down, like when you've had your foot go to sleep and you get out of bed and you just put it down and just immediately go. And that's what's happened to Guns, unfortunately.
So Dudley's not going to be especially
not
useful.
this round, perhaps.
I think I probably hear the thud and I just assume that something horrible's gone wrong.
I mean, he's a big lad, so it's a fairly meaty thud.
That means that at this point, Salvador closes out this round of initiative. So as you're fumbling for that blowtorch that Ted is desperately trying to put into your hands, what I'm going to say here is, and I'm going to say that this is outside of your regular actions within the round. Give me an agility roll, and this is to determine whether you successfully manage to take that blowtorch away from Ted.
5.
5. That's your 1d6 plus your agility.
Yep.
That means that you fail to get hold of that blowtorch. Maybe it's a whole mess of just you desperately trying to get hold of the thing.
My swinging arm just accidentally slaps Ted across the face.
Ah!
What did he ever do to you? We're going to go back to the creature. You have to give us an opposed roll now. I got to tell you that I rolled a 6, which with the creature's strength rating gives it a score of 12. So you've got to tie that.
I rolled a 1.
What happens now is that creature manages to squirm and wriggle its way around your forearms and then lunge at you underneath the visor of your helmet. And at this point, it kind of manages to slither in and make contact with the skin of your neck. And that deals out another one of those kind of painful electrical shocks. This time, the effect is much more disorienting than the last. And that does another point of damage. So you lose another point of health.
I'm out of health.
Out of health?
Yep, that's me now at 0 health. It's your strength, isn't it? It's your health. I only had 2 strength.
That means that the creature takes Salvador Splashraag down. Adam, describe for us what that looks like.
You know when you got a clothes horse and you get both of the little bits at the bottom and they both flip up and it just collapses in on itself? It's just this awful collection of rattling and angles that just concertinas into a flat. That's how he goes down. He sways a little bit and then just drops to the floor, making wet gurgling sounds through the horrible sticky slime helmet that he's now wearing.
Okay, now what this means is that Salvador is safe. He hasn't been killed by this creature, but he has been incapacitated. If you drop below -2 points of health, then you're in trouble. Then we say goodbye to Salvador. But in the meantime, we still have a complete round of combat to go through. So, Andy, having seen this, what does Ted Branson do?
He picks up the stick that Salvador dropped, turns it on, and pokes the goo creature with it again.
Okay. In that case, give us a strength roll. Sorry, 1d6 plus strength.
Oh, that's 6 plus strength, which is 2, so 7.
Surely that's 8 if it's plus 2.
Oh yeah, yep, you're right.
Okay, all right. That's... I'm not judging. I'm crap at maths as well.
We're professionals.
Just not at this.
Is the stun rod part of this active at the moment?
Yes.
Okay, that means that you connect with that creature and once again it spasms, withdraws from Salvador and flops to the floor uselessly again. And you notice this time it's almost as if the mass of this creature is noticeably larger than when it first came towards you. But it kind of contracts in on itself a little and just remains motionless again. We'll say that breaks the initiative order here. What do you do next?
Can I get Salvador and quickly shunt him into the Healy pod?
You can indeed.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick him up and awkwardly shunt him in while stripping him naked.
Because of course, yes.
Stepping over the semi-prone form of Guns.
I didn't say step over.
Fair enough.
You become quite alarmed at how skinny this man actually is.
We can play this the same way as we did before. The way I'm going to reason this is that it's done 2 points of stun damage to you, which are recoverable. So you basically take over the still warm spot that was previously occupied by Guns McGreggor.
Sorry.
And the autodoc starts to cycle again.
A slight murmuring of, why does it smell of coconut in here?
Don't worry about how damp it is.
Guns and Ted, this means that you're left in a situation now where I love how this is basically just musical Medpods.
I'll get my turn soon.
It's highly likely because I don't think we've entirely dealt with this creature, but...
Tell me, how are you guys going to react to this latest...
Well, the problem is, what's happened to Guns is he's woken up after a relatively pleasant sleep, tried to get up, fallen over, then had Salvador collapse like a wet sack of spuds next to him. And what he's seeing out the corner of his eye is basically a goo monster. So there's only one thing this guy can possibly do, which is to swear extremely loudly and fire at it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Give me a ranged combat roll then, please. That is...
Okay.
1d6 plus your agility score.
Well, that's excellent because that's an 8.
You get a bonus as well for your. I believe you have the security.
Yep.
What's your other crew position?
Helm, because he insisted.
Okay, right. It's the security position that's relevant there. So
what's that? +2 was it, or is that? Security is his primary. If that's a
+2, yeah.
Yeah. So that's 10.
10. That is a success. That shot blasts into the creature and splits it in two. A small chunk of this creature is blown clean away and blown with such force that it kind of scoots across the floor and smacks off the wall, at which point both parts of this creature suddenly stir back to life, rear backwards, and then scoot to try to get away from the party as quickly as possible. That smaller section quickly races to the wall and almost magically manages to stretch itself up to the air vent and disappears into it, while the larger one scurries out towards the doorway. You see that it gets to the foot of the automatic door there and is somehow able to very quickly, almost like a squid, when you see footage of those going through small spaces underwater, it just squirts itself out under the door into the facility, and in a heartbeat it's gone.
What the hell was that? Where have I been? Why am I naked? Answer them in any order you like.
Ted, you better make this good.
What's been going on? Goo monster. You saw the goo monster drop down from the ceiling. Salvador had a hug session with it. He's now in the tube. Why are you naked? You needed to go in the tube, so I got your clothes off, as is tradition. I can't remember the last question, but I think that's pretty much caught up.
You could have just stripped him to the waist. I'm just going to put that out there.
No.
Okay, follow-up question.
He needed to get fully healed. That's why he's fully naked.
What is the current location of my clothes?
They're scattered around, I'm sure. I just ripped them off you. I wasn't really concerned about folding up and putting them in drawers.
This is much less pleasant than last time that happened.
I don't remember doing this with you before.
You weren't involved. That was one of the things I liked about it.
Wow, I guess we're hurting each other's feelings now. Okay.
What's a goo monster?
Yeah, so that's the thing.
I'm sorry, I'm a little on edge here, but goo monster?
Yeah, he's a huggy kind of guy. Seems like he's got a bit of a sting in his touch too.
And Salvador, it turns out, is electrically soluble?
Yeah, apparently he doesn't take a good kindly to electrical currents going through his body.
I'm gonna have to check his CV. I'm pretty certain he said he was resistant to that.
As you're concluding this rather frenetic catch-up session, the medpod behind you issues a soft alert and the canopy of it hisses open, and you can see that it's finished doing what it needed to Salvador to revive him, although he's still kind of in the same state that you were a moment ago, Guns, where he's barely
He's going to have to roll to get out.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say that. It's just that very clearly at this moment, the three of you are going to have to take a moment to collect yourselves and just take stock of your situation and work out what the hell's going on.
I'm still kind of stuck on Goo Monster, despite the distraction of what in my head is basically the sound of a microwave finishing that's just come from behind me.
Oh, I guess he's done. Do we turn him over and put him back?
Please remember to leave Salvador Splashraag to stand for 1 minute before eating.
Yeah, I wish you'd done that to me. I might have had a better aim at the Goo Monster. Also, Goo Monster!
Yeah, Goo Monster. I don't know how else to describe it. You saw it. It was gooey. Monsterish. Slithered off. You shot a piece off. That's different. I hit it with my stick. It didn't do a huge amount.
Okay, so no sticky with the Goo Monster, but plenty of bullety. Got it. Excellent.
Yeah. Electricity seems to do well. And, electricity seems to stun it quite handily.
One thing I'll just drop in here is that, and I'm going to say this is free information because it would have been impressed upon you during this altercation with this thing, is that as much as the electrical shocks seem to stop it or stun it, you're not entirely convinced that they actually did any serious damage to it. They just seem to slow it down. So make of that what you will.
Salvador is going to slowly, gingerly, upsettingly climb out of what is basically a microwavable coffin and stand embarrassed, looking for his clothes, trying to keep his back to everybody, because in his mind he's currently thinking to himself, this has not happened since I was 16. This is very embarrassing. I need to get dressed, and I need to my pants. Good. And after some struggling, some finagling, some, shall we say, manhandling, he manages to get his clothes back on.
Yes, it would be lovely to have pants.
Would it make everybody more comfortable if I took mine off?
These are too big for me. These are not my pants.
Huh.
These are... Oh. Guns, these are your pants. I am wearing your pants. I would say we will swap for the rest of mission, but I think right now we need proper pants. So I'll take the pants back off, hand you your pants.
Yeah, they were very insistent on that in the third day of basic training. Definitely wear the pants.
I was sick that day.
Do we need to roll for initiative to see who gets the pants on first?
I'm going to make a ruling as GM that fuck no.
That's what it says in the Those Dark Places rulebook, is it?
So,
Although, interestingly, in the Those Dark Places rulebook, there are rules for whether you've... Well, not rules, but there is the suggestion that you can roll the dice to decide whether you've soiled yourself after coming out of hypersleep. But
that's no fun.
They haven't been, okay, well, luckily they haven't been in hypersleep, so that's okay.
I mean, not soiled exactly, but there is possibly a pool in the bottom of it, which I'm going to blame on Salvador. Salvador, of course, knows the truth.
Now he's managed to conceal his frankly upsettingly large erection. He's going to get himself completely dressed, turn and say, "Did you use blowtorch?"
There was a blowtorch?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance. I tried to hand it to you. You dropped it.
I would like to make some form of educational guess. Because, one, I still actually don't know what I learned from the monster before.
Oh, yes.
Because I got snuggled to death. But also, I've got a theory. I have an idea. I think possibly when you shocked the creature, you overfed it. You made it too full. And that's why it stopped moving. And that's why it kept getting bigger.
And that's why it worked when I fed it a wafer-thin bullet?
What do you mean you fed it a bullet?
I mean, I shot at it, and it buggered off.
It turned into two creatures, a big one and a small one, like a little porcelain Russian doll.
And as you say that, Ted, suddenly you can hear, to very disconcerting effect, something in the ceiling, or the space above the ceiling in the admin block, starts to thump and bang about up there like something is moving around in there.
Yeah, that's one of them.
It's a real kind of rats in the walls situation.
Guns is immediately.
Now we are dressed, I think we need to get blowtorches.
How many blowtorches are there in the room, out of interest?
We said that there were two
Okay.
on the work table that were there amongst all the rest of the mess that was there for the synthetic maintenance.
I think Ted should take one. I'll take one because I want Dudley. Guns. That's your name. Guns. How would you feel about keeping us covered with your guns? If the creature is made entirely out of slime or a muscus liquid, the blowtorches should dry it out and thus slow it down. But I think we need to explore the rest of the station as much as we can. Or leave. And pretend that we couldn't find it.
Unfortunately, bastard McGregor really need the money.
Remember that your mandate for coming to the station was to assess the situation and to find out why the station has fallen dormant, and if possible, restore it to functionality. I would say that perhaps you've just got a really big hint.
It's why I think we need to go and look in the
Ship to leave?
crops room.
That was close.
What?
Would you like to take a look on the map screen to remind yourself
yes,
the layout
please.
of the facility? Okay, there we go. What I'm going to do, just very quickly, is move Salvador's tag into the admin block so that you're all friends together there.
Yay!
Kid,
Yes.
there are two things I'm thinking here. One is that we need to look in the produce vats to see what's going on in there. And two, it might not be the worst idea to do a room by room. What's your thoughts?
I think it might be a better idea to leave. That goo creature seemed to do a good number on you. Guns is not in the best of shape, and he seems nervous.
I'm not nervous, you're nervous.
Say very quietly under my breath to Ted, this is what I was talking about. I'm concerned about our fearless leader.
And yet you want to go to the produce vats, which is really far away.
Yes, but it might give us a more concrete answer into what it is that we're dealing with here.
Okay.
If we can get everything back up and running, then we are going to get a bonus.
Oh, you got the power working. Can we turn on JERI now?
Yes.
We should ask JERI what's up, and then we can just leave.
That's actually a very good idea. I'm sorry, I'm just still not quite with it after being smothered. It's like being a student again.
And electrocuted.
And yeah, very much like being a student.
And stripped?
Yep. It's
Just like being a
reliving
student.
reliving my student days, wet, shocked, and naked. New Wolverhampton was not a good place to go to university. Okay, I think then that the best thing to do would be to go to JERI at the console and start asking it questions.
Okay.
I shall do it since I am the smart
Yep.
computer man.
And I think that it might be a good idea. If you want to do that, I'll take Dudley into the common room to see if we can see anything there. Because I don't want I don't want Guns to try to intimidate the computer with a gun.
Who is this, JERI?
His last interaction with a computerized entity went so well.
I think I've actually gained a phobia of Guns McGreggor and anything electric.
What I can say to you is, looking at the map, this idea of heading towards the common room, it's not a bad idea, because once you're outside of the admin block, we'll call it, the facility is actually fairly open plan. You've got everything is kind of linked together by the main concourse, so it wouldn't be out of bounds of reason to say that you could all go and consult with JERI. And if Salvador, if you're worried about any interaction that Guns might have with the station's AI once it's reactivated, you could always just scoot him to one side and maybe see if there's like something you can distract him with in the common room. Like there might be a vending machine or some flimsy magazines.
Like one of those boxes you can fit various shapes into.
Yeah. Or one of those
Square.
drive-along noddy machines that we were talking about last session.
Oh, hell yes. And it's a shame that Guns is so nervous, really, because he's really not appreciating how contemporary chic this layout is.
Okay, so tell us what happens next.
Well, Andy, do you want to take the head?
Yeah, Ted's leading the way, so go Andy.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm gonna walk out into the hallway area and walk to the looking at the map, the relatively close system that is known as JERI 9000. Is he on? Is he alive? I'm looking at him. I see the buttons. Do I see power?
The JERI 9000 terminal bears a little bit of explanation, because we did get into this a little bit last session. But when you first arrived at the facility, when everything was in darkness, you could see that it appeared that that terminal was inactive. Now, the JERI 9000 AI system, it's worth just getting into a little bit of the kind of what passes for the lore of this setting, in that it's the kind of system that can be fitted anywhere, any kind of facility or starship or outpost that requires an AI core. There'll be some variety of the JERI 9000 series AI found there. What you've got here is a simplified version of the system where, say, on a starship, it might have its own block within the ship that governs its functionality. Here, you've literally just got a flat interface terminal. So there are a couple of CRT style screens, there are lights, buttons, there's a server style pull out keyboard. And the thing is here, any interaction that you have with this system is going to be quite simple. You're not going to be able to do too much with it. But you can see at the moment that despite power being restored to the station, that terminal is still inactive.
Oh.
The status light that we saw last session, because there was like I think there was an amber light that was indicating that there was no power to the console, that's no longer illuminated. There's a blue light which indicates that the system is ready to be activated. So you're going to have to reinitialize, or not reinitialize, but you're basically going to have to switch JERI on. So you tell me, Ted, what do you do with JERI at this point?
Well, does Ted know how to just turn him on, or what is required?
Absolutely. This kind of terminal is fairly commonplace across the frontier. So any of you would be able to interact with JERI 9000.
Even guns?
Yeah, we'll say that this console has the same level of sophistication as a desktop computer in the present day. Most people would be able to, even if only in a very basic way.
I'm gonna say Dudley looks like he might assume Guns might not know how to use a basic computer.
Well, at this point, Guns is still facing into the previous room, alternatively pointing at the vent the creature came out of, and the pipe above where we heard the noise. Just so he's probably of no use to you right now.
And to add a little flavour to that, that action is not unwarranted, because you can still hear some faint rumbles and bumps in the space above the ceiling panels.
I will turn the JERI on then, since I know how.
The main screen on the display flashes up with what you know to be the standard boot up screen for a 9000 series AI. A series of icons, including a little animated face, appear on screen. That face rotates like an icon, and that's letting you know that JERI 9000 is booting up. And eventually, through one of the speaker grills on the front of the console, you hear an electronic voice which comes through this burst of electronic sound, and it says, "Hello, thank you for reactivating me. Please state your name and business on this station."
Hello, JERI 9000. I'm Ted. Ted Branson. We're here to find out why this facility has gone dark. There's also a weird gelatinous monstrosity that seems to be hunting us. Can you explain why your systems have gone down, and perchance what this creature is?
For a moment, you hear a disconcerting stretch of that electronic noise. It just kind of cycles and buzzes for a while before JERI 9000's artificial voice comes back and says, "Hello, Ted. It is nice to meet you. I am afraid I am not sure how much assistance I will be able to be. It appears that power to my primary systems was lost abruptly. I am not sure that I am in full possession of all the facts surrounding my deactivation. Please repeat your observations to me."
Well, I would ask JERI 9000, what was the last thing you called before going offline? And yes, you asked about what's been going on. Seemingly your station has been down. This creature is best described as gelatinous and veiny, seemingly affected by electricity, which it feeds on, and also can be shot or dismembered slightly, and then mitoses itself effectively and becomes two separate individuals.
Consulting my internal chronometrics, it appears automated transmissions from this facility ceased 2 days ago at 02:24 hours. I'm afraid my recollection of these events may not be entirely accurate. Consulting my internal operations logs, I see that there have been numerous power fluctuations throughout the facility, resulting in the station operating at reduced functionality. One moment, please. That electronic sound buzzes again. When JERI 9000 next speaks, it says to you, "It occurs to me that you may find more useful information in the station's surveillance logs. However, I am presently unable to access them."
Why?
Access to my internal surveillance logs is contingent on power supply being redirected to my primary hub. You may be able to restore functionality and access to these security logs if you restore auxiliary power in the computer core management system.
Well, you heard it here, guys. Goo Monster messed up the computer system. Everything's broke. Time to go home.
In the background, all you hear is a shriek from Guns. You look round, and there's a can of Diet Fountain View on the floor. Like Swill it is! He didn't hear any of the previous stuff from JERI.
Guns is doing well.
I would say so. I mean, we've got two guys who have recently been electronically shocked to within an inch of their lives. They're holding it remarkably well.
Yeah.
One thing I'm going to quickly show you is on the map screen. The auxiliary power and the computer core management system that JERI 9000 was talking about is in a room not far away from where the console is. You can see where the JERI 9000 console is embedded in that wall.
Mhm.
You've got a bunk room, and the next door down leads to that computer core. That's basically where JERI 9000 has directed you to.
Okay. Thank you, Gerald, for everything you've said, and we will.
I'm sorry, who is Gerald?
Just being polite.
There is no need to be polite to me, sir.
Also, his name's JERI. Come on, man.
Gerald is a nice name.
That's like me calling you Salvadukian. Esquire.
I had brothers who called me Salvadukian.
Yeah, no one likes that, do they?
All dead. Moving on. We will go look at computer core then, and Tid, you are probably best man for job. So, Guns, can you go in front?
Alright, Guns moves to the front, pausing only to kick the Diet Fountain Dew across the concourse angrily, and stomps to the front, still covering literally every centimetre of everything in scattergun fashion. Possibly literally.
Guns, out of interest, how much training did you get before taking on this position?
Like, they gave me the gun. Apparently this bit's important.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He is the best kind of correct.
Got 100% in test.
Which test?
The test of which bit's important.
So, as you turn in the direction of the computer core access room to move toward it as a party, Salvador, you notice something which immediately strikes you as being irregular. If we look back on the map screen, what you notice there is that on either side of that concourse you have two bunk rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that this facility is a prefabricated, mass-produced unit. There are lots of outposts like this all across not only the Yukara system, but the extent of the human frontier. These are all over the place. So these facilities are built to accommodate human staff. Now, in this case, there are no humans aboard the station to man it, but there are still the facilities in place for those crews should they come along at another point, and that's why you've got these 2 bunk rooms. You notice that this bunk room to your left, the door has a large flat cylindrical device on it, and you recognize this immediately as being a biometric lock.
That makes me think that somebody does not want other people going in there. Now, as this is an unmanned station, that is concerning.
Give me an education roll, please.
Education 4 plus 6 is 10.
10, that's a success. Here's why that particular detail strikes you as being significant. Do you remember that message that you received at the start of the mission? That message was particularly unsettling for you, wasn't it?
Yes. It's made him very, very nervous and very jumpy about the entire situation. And he's starting to... He trusts Ted, because Ted seems to be a very stand-up kind of guy. But there's something about that message that makes him look at Guns McGregor in a different light. Almost like, is he putting this on?
Because that message read, "You're about to learn that you really need to pay more attention to who you work for."
Yo, Salvador, you're a big smelly. No one likes you. I'ma kill you.
Pretty much.
The reason that this detail about this device on the door of the bunk room to your left sticks out at you is that you know that it's a mob practice that occasionally, where the organised crime element across the new frontier has managed to infiltrate businesses, sometimes they will use outposts like this for nefarious purposes, sometimes for the storage of contraband, illicit goods, that kind of thing, and sometimes these devices are used to ensure that an item is left and can be picked up by somebody with connections to the mob at a later date. The key item here is that it's a biometric lock, which should ensure that only the intended parties are able to retrieve whatever's on the other side. So that detail stops you in your tracks immediately, and I'm going to ask you to make a pressure roll, because the implications of this make your blood run cold.
That was a 4.
Plus your pressure bonus.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's your total result is a 6.
10. It's
10.
I've got 6 pressure bonus.
That's
and
okay.
I rolled a 4.
In that case, Salvador is keeping it together. Are you going to reveal to the others that you have some inkling of what this might mean?
I think he's going to just stop. This place is completely non-manned, yet that is a biometric scanner. Those are usually kept there for a reason. It's only one person or one small group of people can get into a room.
Or out.
This... or out.
What?
This
Why would you say that?
concerns me greatly, that something is in there.
Did you
He's
say
gonna-
you wanted me to hack the system and open the door for you? Because I could try.
He's going to just walk over to it and have a look at it. Is it like a finger?
Yeah.
Finger or eye?
We'll say that it's got what we're going to call a multi-sensor on it.
Mhm.
So that could register biometric information by a number of different means. It could be a retina scan, it could be a thumbprint, it could analyze your breath to ascertain who is actually trying to open it. It could utilize one of those authenticators, or it could utilize several of them.
I'm going to see if it opens for me.
Okay.
Guns is very much covering sort of 75% the door, 25% the control panel itself, because he doesn't quite understand the word biometric with the gun.
It has got a lot of syllables in it.
Before he does whatever he needs to do, before he puts his hand on it.
Let's say it's a thumbprint.
Yeah, before he puts his thumbprint, he's speaking under his breath. He's, no matter how far away you try to get, you always find yourself being pulled back. It's never going to be far enough away, is it? Now, I'm going to say that you guys can probably just about hear it, but he's not talking to you. He's talking to himself. He is thinking things through, and he puts his thumb on very gingerly at first, then sod it, and puts his thumb on.
I love the Slavic cursive, like sod it.
Sod it. He's from New Wolverhampton.
Fair days. As you press your thumb onto that multi-sensor on the biometric lock, you get an error tone, and it flashes up in illuminated red text, and it says invalid, and then immediately goes dark again.
Tid, I'm going to ask a favor of you. I feel like I need you to open this door. Whatever we find inside, it may seem weird, and it may seem strange, and I'm going to ask you not to ask any questions about it.
Stranger than a goo monster?
I don't know. To be honest,
Okay.
I do not know. But if you can, I think we need to look inside.
I'm confused. That display said invalid, but I thought the medical bay was over there.
Surely it should have opened for you, because you've got two previous invalids.
Yeah, two of us have been injured. Is that not enough for it? Do I have to shoot Ted as well?
Space is just not fair.
Maybe we need to be unconscious again for it to open.
There's a line of reasoning.
Fine.
So Ted's going to attempt to hack this. Is that the correct read on this situation?
That's what I'm asking Ted to do.
Ted will do as he has been asked.
Okay.
Because he is a friendly boy.
Is this within Ted's ability to do? You're going to need... I'm going to say this is going to draw on your education roll to attempt it.
Well, I'm a science officer and an engineer, so that should surely give me something.
We'll say you could draw on your engineer position.
Okay.
So that would be a D6 roll plus your education plus whatever the appropriate bonus is for the engineer position.
4 plus 2 plus whatever. What did you say for engineering?
Is engineering your primary or secondary position?
Secondary.
Secondary, that means you get 1 additional point.
7.
7, that's a success with a complication.
Okay.
And I've got an idea what the complication could be.
Is it that I break a nail?
I was thinking slightly more dire than that. Why don't you explain for us how it looks, the process of Ted trying to kind of get into this biometric lock and override it?
Well, he has a good, solid Ted Branson look at things, licking and smacking of the lips a good few times. A good, finagling around the edges of the corner of the console to get his little mitten fingers inside of it, to pop it open, to jam his hand inside the thing and give it a good old feel around, going, oh yeah, right there, a bit here, a bit there. Ooh, that's how you like it.
It's almost sexual.
Oh, yes. It's a very happy sexual experience for both parties. JERI perhaps moans in the background.
JERI has no connection to this whatsoever. I'll dispel that myth right now.
Ted could pretend. Like he did with his late wife.
Jesus.
Before we get demonetized, I'm going to say that the complication that arises here is that as you're kind of getting into the guts of this biometric lock, eventually what happens is that biometric lock beeps, a panel on it flips open, and the door swings open, but suddenly you hear a very harsh tone come out of the biometric lock, which you immediately understand to be a countdown to detonation of a security measure. Give me an agility roll, and if you fail this, we're going to say that you get caught in the detonation.
Agility 1, 6. That's my total, 6.
That's your absolute total. Unfortunately,
5 plus 1, 6.
Oh no.
Guns immediately fires into the ceiling in panic.
okay, this means unfortunately that biometric lock, the security measure on it activates and it explodes in your hand. So I believe I actually have to consult the rulebook for how this works.
Not the rules.
We might be saying goodbye to Ted here.
Oh no.
Oh wow.
I'm so sorry.
This is what I get for being a kind gentleman.
Oh, it's even worse.
It's worse than that. He's dead, Jim.
All right, I'm going to house rule this. The explosion from this device is going to do 2 damage to everybody because you're all in close proximity. We're going to say that Ted is unable to get away from that. That unfortunately does 2 damage to you straight away. I don't know if that takes you out.
I was on 1 strength.
So you're at -1.
So I can take 1 more slap and then I'm double dead.
You immediately collapse unconscious to the floor. But what we're going to say as well is that Salvador and Guns need to make an agility roll.
Oh, we can avoid this, can we?
You can. It needs to be 1d6 plus your agility. In Guns' case, I'm going to say that you hear the tone and you get a plus 2 bonus. Because being a security officer, you immediately understand that this is an explosive device.
I'll let you do the maths on this, but my total is 6.
6. That means that you take 2 damage.
And given that my agility is 3 and you gave me a 2 bonus, I think you can extrapolate.
You're down to 1. Oh.
I'm down to 1. I also rolled a 1.
Oh. Salvador. What did you get?
8. Total of 8.
8. You're able to dodge the damage.
Salvador's going to be the lone survivor. He's going to be haunted by the ghosts of Ted and Guns.
Not necessarily. I mean, remember, Salvador does have a medkit on him.
Yeah.
Which you can use at your discretion. We won't worry about that for now. Maybe not until next session, the way this is going to go. Ted has been rendered unconscious by this explosion, and because this thing was in your hands, that's done horrendous damage to your hands. You're going to take a reduction in your agility.
I can't. Well, I could just go to 0.
What is your agility score?
1.
1. Okay.
So it can only go to 0, so it's not a huge loss, to be honest.
We will work out.
True.
We'll work out how to spin that after the session then. But for now, the important thing to know is that you are at -1 health, which means that you do need medical attention. Guns, you've tried and failed to dodge the explosion. Tell us what state you think you're in.
So basically, he was just getting into position to jump when it was a bit too late. So he's just been blown into the other wall, has gone, and is now quietly sliding down it face first.
So it's knocked the wind out
But
of
with
you.
1 hit point, so he will be able to stand up as his next action, shall we say.
Salvador, you're the only member of the party who has come out of this unscathed.
How do you feel?
Terrible. Absolutely awful. This is all his fault.
Give us another pressure roll, please.
That was a 3.
Oh, that's not good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've got 6 pressure bonus.
Ah, he's so close. That means you just failed it.
Oh.
That might be worse than just failing it normally.
What pressure level are you at? I've got a feeling that you're
2.
pressure level 2. Okay, give us a d6 roll.
5.
5. I think that means that you're okay. I think that means that you're coping okay with this. Because if
That's surprising.
I'm not.
my
Either
understanding of the rules is that when you're at pressure level 2, then you have to roll up to 2 to suffer that effect. But because you failed the roll, you do go up another pressure level. So you're now at pressure level 3.
Oh no.
They didn't send us because we were the best.
There is thick, acrid smoke coming up from the charred remains of this biometric lock. It's just a battered, blackened mass of metal on the floor now. But you also notice that that door has swung open into the bunk room.
Yay.
Salvador's going to stand for a few seconds. He looks down at Ted, and he knows that the most humane thing to do would be to help. But on the other hand, the curiosity of what's in this room, that knowledge that there might be something in there that can help him to escape the clutches of the mobsters and the various people who are after his head. And he looks at Ted, and he turns on his heel, and he walks into the room.
As you enter the room, you walk past that billowing cloud of grey smoke coming from the detonation. That bunk room, like every other room in the station since you returned power, it's now fully illuminated. You see rows and rows of very simple pre-made bunks. The whole room is grey and featureless except for a table in the centre of the room. And on the table, taped down to it to keep it from floating away in zero gravity when the station was not under power, you see a fairly large box, almost like a presentation box, the kind of thing that you might see cigars or expensive chocolates packed in. And you can see that this box, the lid of it is loose, it's slightly open.
I'm going to walk over, and I'm going to open it with shaking hands.
As you flip open the lid of the box, you see that there is a sheet of corrugated paper on the top. And curiously, in a development that's almost surreal, you see that there is a handwritten note, like a post-it note that has been stuck to the top side of this corrugated paper. The note reads, "In case you're wondering, yes, I took one. We're even now. I expect to be left alone." And as you reach with shaking hands to remove that top sheet of paper and move it to one side, you see that inside the box, neatly arranged, are the blue-purple ingots of the most highly coveted substance in space. It's zenithite, and one bar is missing.
Shit.
We'll find out what this means next session. In our last thrilling episode, the maintenance team dispatched to assess Gramtech prefabricated food production Fucked it up
You
already.
named this, it's your fault.
I know! Describe for us how you go down.
Sorry.
Not like that, Dudley!
Oh my god.
God, his last words were blow me. Oh no.
Just occurring to me, yeah. He's not the one going down.
Let's do that again, guys.